So I was talking to my husband. I was just like, yo, I really manifested my labor and delivery in the worst way possible. I did that with my mouth. And when I was reflecting, I was literally just mind blown. Child, let's get into the story. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimberly. If you're new here, and I talk all things motherhood, home, and self-care because we need that, obviously. And I wanted to do this video for a very long time. I don't know when it came to my realization, but once it did, I was just like, oh wow, this is real life. And it's been on my heart to share it for a long time, and I just never did. And so I'm glad to have this opportunity to share it. So if you feel like it could be helpful to someone, please go on ahead and share it to someone, and make sure you like and comment your thoughts, you know? So I found out that I was pregnant, and initially there was excitement, but there was also fear. I feel like pregnancy can be, when you're thinking of like labor and delivery, and when you're thinking of just the maternal deaths and the pain, like it could be really scary. And I feel like that is a normal feeling, and it's a normal emotion to have in terms of, you know, just birth. And so I think for me though, I really walked into my pregnancy with a lot of fear because I just didn't know what to expect. Fear of the unknown, just not trusting in the system to really take care of you. I just feel like a lot of times in pregnancy, if you don't create your own space or create your own safe haven to protect your peace, you could really drown in a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative thinking, and just walking in fear. And so that really dictates how your pregnancy will go. I truly feel that way. And so that was my experience. I was walking through my pregnancy in a lot of fear. Really, the fear was really for the pain. I just was really nervous about how I was going to be able to deal with the pain. And not only was I having one child, I was having two. So I'm just like, twins? I was shook. I was real shook, and I just couldn't shake, like, how am I going to be able to do this? And so I used to say it a lot. I used to say it quite often. And the exact words that I would say was, I just want to go to sleep and wake up, and the babies were here. And the babies are here. I just want to go to sleep and wake up, and the babies are here. I don't want to feel no pain. Yes. And like, that could be something that somebody says, but I was saying it, I said it quite often to like my husband, to maybe like a friend, family, whatever, not thinking much of it. And while I was going through my pregnancy was pretty okay. The only thing that I did run into some issues in terms of my platelet count. My platelets were just getting lower and lower as I was getting closer to my due date. And so I had to see, like, when you get towards the end of the pregnancy, you know, you do have to go to see the doctors weekly to monitor the baby, to make sure everything is going okay. And so I was 36 weeks at this point, and they were monitoring both babies. And while they were monitoring baby B, which was my daughter, they just couldn't get a read on her. So they just wanted to keep me just to make sure everything was okay. I ended up having to stay the night. They told my husband to leave, that he couldn't stay because it was just like, she'll be fine, and tomorrow morning, more than likely, she'll be able to go back home. So I remember just like my mother, my brother, just how my close friends and family did come see me that night. And, you know, they went home, everything was okay. My husband bought me a bunch of snacks. I was like, okay, we'll be good. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I was really annoyed that he couldn't stay with me, because I'm like, who wants to stay in the hospital by themselves and pregnant? Like, nobody wants that. That was dumb, honestly. But you know, that was their rules. There's nothing I could do at that point. So they leave in the middle of the night. All of a sudden I can't breathe. I'm like, okay. I woke up in the middle of the night. I feel like I texted my husband something along the lines of, you know, I don't feel like I could breathe or something like that. And I pressed, you know, the nurse's button, and they did come, and I'm telling them, you know, I don't feel like I breathe. I've started feeling like a shortness of breath. So like I'm breathing, but it was just like a little difficult. And so they ended up putting oxygen on my face, and that was like the beginning to like a whirlwind of exam after exam after specialist after specialist. It was a lot happening, and just not having like someone to be there to kind of advocate for you was really tough, because my baby, I hope he doesn't wake up. So it was definitely a scary position to be in. Don't even get me started about like what my husband was experiencing. What he was experiencing was just a whole different, it's just a whole different point of view from him, having to deal with his wife, go through all these things and not knowing what's gonna happen. And so they ended up giving me an EKG. I remember getting an MRI, and they ended up, first they diagnosed me with a pulmonary embolism, and then they ended up ruling that out and decided that, okay, she has pneumonia. And so at that point, because I wasn't able to breathe properly, they said that they have to put me to sleep. They had to put me to sleep so that my lungs can rest. So basically, I had to get a C-section, but I was put to sleep. So I wasn't able to like be awake or see when the baby come out or hear the baby cry, or basically what a mom would typically experience that was completely robbed from me. I remember being rolled in to get I remember being rolled in to get the surgery, and I was really like nervous. Well, one thing that I can say is, one thing that I did ask God was for peace, that I didn't want to have the fear of dying. And so I feel like he did give me that. I felt a peace, like no matter all the things that was happening and just all the doctors that I was talking to, I just didn't feel, I felt comfort in the midst of that. I don't know how to explain it, but I just knew that I would be okay. I just felt that in my heart, that I would be okay. So I thank God for that. But just being rolled in, and I'm just like, wow, this is really happening. And I remember them counting down and just explaining like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And I'm like, okay. Them counting down, and I like fall asleep. And so they do what they have to do. And then when I wake up post-op, I'm intubated. And so I remember just feeling something in my throat. It was the most uncomfortable feeling that I could even like imagine. It was so weird. Like I couldn't swallow. It was just, I can't even explain it, but it was very uncomfortable. I woke up, I remember seeing my husband there, and you could tell he looked really tired. You could see the joy of him just seeing me awake. And so I was really happy to see him. I think we were very happy to see each other at that moment. While I was there, I think I was still intubated, they rolled the babies in. And I'm like, whoa. Are those my kids? I was like, oh. It was really intense, because I'm just like, I didn't see anything happen. So it was just like, how do we really know that these are my kids, first of all? How do we really know these are my kids? But honestly, it was just like weird. It was weird for sure, because I'm just like, the fact that I didn't see it happening, it was hard for me to put two and two together at first. But I knew I was pregnant with twins, and these are the twins that were supposedly in my womb. So, I took a look at them, and I'm just like, okay, they were doing good. They didn't spend any time in the NICU. They were perfectly healthy. It was just me just Anyways, we get into the room and I was able to like hold the babies, and it was definitely an adjustment for sure of connection, just because I wasn't there to see things happen. So it did take me a little bit time to adjust, but I just say all of that to say, you know, if you're pregnant or if you're expecting or if you know someone that's pregnant, you know, pregnancy can be scary, but there's also so much beauty in pregnancy, and just God has gifted you a child, and if he gave it to you, then he'll see you through. And so I really believe that it's very important that we be careful with what we say. There's so much power in the tongue. Like, what you say is what you attract, and you can see that through my experience. And so I just wanted to just encourage just any moms or just anyone in general to be careful what we're saying. That's not something you want to play with. You want to just speak positive, speak life onto yourself and to others, and just be wise and just think twice. You know, just think twice. So I just wanted to encourage you all, and that we are mindful with what we're saying. When you're pregnant, you're in a very vulnerable, sensitive state. Just in life in general, I've learned that what we say has power. You could speak life or you could speak death. You could speak healing or you could speak harm. So I just wanted to encourage you all. I know I'm not perfect at it, but I am more aware based on my experience, just to think twice. I remember maybe like a year after giving birth and just having that whole experience, I told myself, if I get pregnant again, I am not experiencing that again. If God ever were to give me another baby, that I promise we're doing things differently. And so 7 months ago, I was able to give birth to a beautiful baby boy. And I cannot wait to share that story, because it was definitely a redemptive birth story. God really showed out for me. I did things so differently, from my mindset, just to my thought process, just to everything that I did. I just did everything so differently because I was determined to not have that same experience again. And I went to God boldly and prayed, and just really prayed fervently, with the help of my family and my friends, and I'm just so happy. So stay tuned for part 2 to this story. I cannot wait to share, and I want you guys to put your notification bells on so that you can hear this story, because it's a good one. It's a good one. So I'll see you in my next video, and make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe.